Okay, and stop for a moment. Lee Michael Martinez. Unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing. I'm just listening for you to call
No,
my name.
you're laying down. You're laying next to some teddy bear. I don't know if that's a Care Bear or what's going on.
I'm sorry, but I'm just not in the mood for fun.
You have Pokemon. How old are you?
It was a thing for my
How old are
knee.
you?
21.
All right, you're 21 years old. You're in a felony court. Stop with the Pokemon nonsense. And stop with the Care Bears nonsense and get your life together. If I find you sleeping, wearing a hat, not dressed appropriately, not respecting the court, you're going to wake yourself up and you're going to come to the 187 District Court. If you need to go to the restroom at your house or wherever you are to splash some cold water on your face, then you go do that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Get yourself a new life.
It's a beautiful Monday, everyone. All right, Meredith. It says that a document is still sitting in your client's. It's the waiver.
Oh, okay.
So let me send you all back. And 034, State of Texas versus Mary Isabella Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
David Martin.
for the defense?
Javier Padilla, Your Honor.
And are you Mary Isabella Hernandez? I need you to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video. The court will note for the record that the defendant is in the courtroom. Any objections to us proceeding by video, state?
No objection.
Defense? Ms. Hernandez, any objections to us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, and the court will note for the record that the defendant entered her plea by video on June 24th. She entered a plea to count 1 of no contest. Count 2 and the enhancement paragraphs were waived. The court found there is sufficient evidence to find her guilty, but deferred finding of guilt. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment was to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. The state would remain silent on the defendant's application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. And there was an affirmative finding of family violence and $100 to an approved family violence center. And outside the agreement was no contact with Monica Bustos. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report? State?
No objection.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense, the state is silent. You may proceed.
No, thank you. Before I call Ms. Hernandez, Your Honor, I'd like to say a few things. It's obvious that Ms. Hernandez has had a criminal history and does have a criminal history. But it's also important to note that this particular incident with this lady, Monica Bustos, resulted from a very brief relationship that they had. Since this happened, there's been no contact with her whatsoever. She can assure you that there will be no contact in the future. Ms. Hernandez is now working. She's been employed for a year. She lives with her parents. She takes care of her mother. She's 51 years old, and she'd like to put all this behind her and turn a new page in her life. And I think she can do that if the court puts her on community supervision. So with that, I'd like to ask Ms. Hernandez a few questions, Your Honor.
All right, could you raise your hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to need you to make sure you speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you could state your name for the record, please.
Mary Isabella Hernandez.
Defense?
Okay, Ms. Hernandez, let me ask you a few questions. Where are you working right now, and how long have you been working there?
I work for Villas of Castle Hill. assistant maintenance. And, I've been there for going on, oh my gosh, a little bit less than a year.
Okay. And where are you living right now?
At my parents' house.
And are you hoping to take care of your parents?
Yes, sir. My mom is, she's got diabetes real bad, and she's got high blood pressure, cholesterol, and stuff like that. So, like, I do a lot of running of their errands and things like that.
And how old is your mother?
My mom is 66.
Okay. Now, Monica Bustos, since this happened, have you had any contact with her?
No, sir.
Do you intend to have any contact with her?
No, sir.
Can you assure Judge Boyd that you will never have any contact with her?
I can assure that.
Okay. This relationship that you had with her, how long was that relationship, if you can estimate the time?
I would say it was like 4 months, 6 months, maybe the most. Yeah.
Okay. And can you assure the judge that if she puts you on probation, you will comply with whatever she directs you to do, whatever instructions and orders she may give you, you will comply with?
I guarantee it, sir.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. That's all, Your Honor.
All right, any questions from defense? I'm sorry, from the state?
Yeah, no objection. Or no question, sorry.
Okay, it's Monday. All right, I do have a few questions. Just one moment. All right, so certain questions I have of you. Just one moment. All right, I'm looking at your criminal history. Now, some of it, for example, the driving while license suspended, that's, of course, it's an offense, but it's not a violent offense. So what I want to focus on is the violent offenses and the fact that you've been on probation before, which tells me if you've been on probation before, that you know the rules of probation.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have a theft case. Now, the cases here that have been dismissed, the failure to identify, the assault, bodily injury, married, I'm not focusing on that. That's dismissed. I don't know why it was dismissed. So I'm not focusing on that or giving it any weight. But we have an assault, bodily, married here, and you were granted deferred for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we have a driving while intoxicated. You were sentenced to jail. Again, another assault, family violence, 2018. I'm not going to focus on that because it was dismissed. Harassment, 2019, dismissed. Shoplifting, Palm Beach, Florida, unknown.
That was,
I'm not focusing on that because it says unknown. I'm not going to ask you about that. Evading arrest with a vehicle, given deferred adjudication, it was revoked. Aggravated assault, seriously bodily injury, you were sentenced to prison for that. And then now we have an assault, family choking. And we have this continuous violence against family that was dismissed. I'm not even going to consider that. Harassment, dismissed. I'm not going to consider that. Attempt to commit aggravated assault with a deadly weapon out of Medina County. There's nothing here on that, so I'm not even going to consider that. But the court's concern is you have violent history, and now you're before me again with another violent case.
yes, ma'am.
So why should I place you on probation when you have a violent history? And this was an assault choking.
That's it. Can I speak?
Yes. I mean, I'm asking you, why should I place you on probation?
That female that I was with at that time, I told her about the history, about what happened when I went to prison and stuff like that. And it was a situation where she knew my past. And when I came out with a different mentality where I wasn't going to get into those type of situations again to get, I mean, it was a situation where like, she was doing drugs. She was doing stuff that I didn't know about, and this situation, she over exaggerated a lot of things that didn't really happen, because, I don't know, she just took advantage of the situation, and this is why we're here now. But as far as giving me a chance to be on probation, I just want to reform my life. I don't want to be going back to the same stuff, and I just want an opportunity.
But see, here's the thing. Your record suggests that you've been given opportunities. That's where we are. And I've read the police report. I've read the PSI report. And according to the police report, this all took place at a bar. It doesn't matter if you were drunk, she was drunk, or nobody was drunk. In the stipulations, it says that people had to come to her aid to get you off of her. That's what it says. It says here. You followed her it says Monica claims they were at a local bar owned by her family. She stated as the night went on, she was talking to other females at the bar. Monica stated this upset Mary. Monica stated she went to the restroom and Mary followed her inside. At this time, Monica states Mary pushed her against the wall, then began to choke her. Several staff members came into the bathroom to help her. Mary was removed from the bar as Monica stayed behind for fear Mary would hurt her. So that's what I have. And that's, I mean, those were the items that were stipulated to. The court reviewed them. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court deferred finding of guilt because you applied for deferred adjudication. So again, we're still at the point where your criminal history is one of violence. And I have before me another case that's one of violence. So it's sort of, why shouldn't I send you to prison? And let me just explain something to you. I treat every case individually, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But sometimes, and I'm not saying this is with you, but sometimes people think that if women commit violent offenses, that they should be treated differently from if men commit a violent offense. But for me, a choking is a choking. And I found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty of choking someone, which would be the complainant in this case. I know that the complainant said that she didn't want to go forward with this case, which is not unusual for anyone who's complaining in family violence cases to not want to go forward. So my question is, you have violent history. I have before me another violent case. You've gone to prison for a violent case. You've had misdemeanor cases that were violent cases. So why am I going to give you probation? Like, I don't understand. Why should I give you probation when you've had chances at probation? You've been to prison for a violent offense. You're out. And now I have before me another violent offense. And it's not as though you went to prison for a violent offense and you hadn't had experience with violence before, because you have misdemeanor cases that are family violence cases. You were given deferred adjudication. You completed it. So supposedly you were to have learned something about controlling your anger. But obviously that's not the case because we're back here again.
Answer, Mary, why should she give you probation? Answer that for her, please.
I feel that I should get probation because, like I tried to explain earlier, the situation with this person, Monica, it was exaggerated. I mean, half of the stuff, when I came out, I knew that I was going to do something different, and I have. And it's just, this person has exaggerated a lot of the situation, and it's not even how they said it happened. Her family, our friends of mine, were the place of the thing happened, the situation, and the owner, she says, she goes, "That's my cousin." She goes, and I know that's how she is. She goes, and I mean, I haven't talked to her. I haven't been around her. I don't want anything to do with that situation again. I want to do probation if you grant it, because I have a lot of things going for me now that where I never had before. And I'm trying to get ahead and put that behind me now.
All right. Is there anything else from defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court's going to deny your application. The court will find you guilty. The court will not grant you community supervision. State you're silent on the application. Are you also silent on punishment as well?
Yes.
All right. Defense, anything you want to say with regards to punishment?
Well, Judge, it's a very difficult situation. I know that this Hernandez past history factors a lot into this, but I do think she deserves an opportunity to get her life back together. So I would recommend a short sentence. Once she gets out, she can get back with her life. I would recommend a sentence of 2 years to allow her to have some time to reflect on what's happened, but then allow her to continue with her life before too much more time passes. And she is 51 years old now, so I would hope we'll regret that opportunity.
All right. The court will note that the defendant has made improvements to her life and has not had any contact with the complainant in the case. And I'll note that in the PSI report, the complainant wants the defendant to have a chance to do better. So this is what the court will do. As previously stated, the court is finding the defendant guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Monica Bustos, Bustos. 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it? Sorry, did you review that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, good luck to you. When you get out this time, you probably need to take some anger management courses to think about which relationships you want to be in. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Hernandez.